What's going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and today we're going to start on the web shop of our streetwear brand.
Dreadlabs.
Alright, before we start off, I need to talk about something that needs to be addressed. We're gonna have to do a name change. So another party reached out to me in Dreadlabs, and I found out that the name Dreadlabs is very close to something that has been trademarked in the clothing section, which basically means that to avoid confusion with a trademark brand, I have to change the name of my clothing brand. But don't worry, the rest of Dreadlabs, like design-wise and music-wise, will not be affected. But basically that means that from now on, we are going to continue on our streetwear brand, and the name of it is called Dread Universe. Obviously, the word Dread comes from Dreadlabs, which comes from the exploration of fear. If you don't know where the Dreadlabs name comes from, there's a lot of podcasts where I talk about it and videos on my channel, so yeah. Anyways, as this clothing brand is based around the fictional world building that we did in the Dreadlabs universe, I figured it would be the best to call this Dread Universe, because basically that's what we're doing with this clothing brand. Alright, before we start the video, the full-on episodes of this video series is actually available on my Patreon. You'll also get access to project files, cheat sheets, and all of the project files from my tutorials of all of my design videos on my channel. Besides that, you'll also get a 15% discount in my asset web store and a Discord rule. So yeah, if you want to become a patron, there's a link in the description. Right, so before we start off, I just want to make one more note, and that is that you don't need to have any skills in like coding or web developing or in WordPress, because we're going to do that all from scratch, right? Let's just dive into it. All right, so the first thing that you need to do if you want to start a website is to start getting a hosting. And this is very different for each country. This is a company called VMAX. It's a Dutch company, I think, or at least the language is in Dutch. Which might confuse things a little bit, but yeah, there's a lot of websites where you can just host a website. And this one is just fairly cheap. I've been working with them for a couple of years now, and I've been really happy with the results of that. So yeah, we're just gonna go and make a new domain name. So what we're gonna register is the domain name for dreaduniverse.com, as well as a web hosting for 12 months. So basically, yeah, you can just see this is a total price of €16.20 for the first year, which is not a lot, obviously. But yeah, let me just get this and I'll show you how to install WordPress. Alright, so it might take a while to get it set up, but anyways, once you're here, you can log in to your backend. And this is very different for every web hosting, but I'm just gonna do it the way that I'm used to. And I hope that you guys follow along a similar process. Anyways, you can just log in through the backend here. Alright, so this is something that's called Direct Admin. And it's basically where you can upload your main code if you want to host a website. So yeah, you have the FTP management if you are a web developer. But you can also just install different things such as email accounts or any web applications. So what we're going to do is, if you go to the bottom here, you can just see WordPress. We're just going to click on that. And we're going to click on install this application. This might take a while, and once you get set up, you can just log in. So the way you're gonna log in is to go to your own website and then go to /wp-admin, as you can see in this link. All right, so now that we log in, so this is the main interface of WordPress. There's quite a lot here, but you don't need to worry about it too much. The first thing that you need to do is install WooCommerce. So WooCommerce is a plugin from WordPress themselves, and basically it will turn your website into a web shop. So the way you're gonna do that is you're gonna go to plugins from the left here, and you're gonna go to add new. So here you have lots of different plugins, and I'm just gonna go search for WooCommerce, and you're gonna click on install now. And then once you get it installed, you can also click on activate. So here you need to fill in some settings, and I'll just go and do that. You're gonna need to click what business we are in, and we're gonna sell physical products, and how many products I plan to display will, I think about 11 to 100. And I'm currently not selling anywhere else. You might think, okay, yeah, but Tom, you are actually selling on your website, but because of the trademark thing, I actually took down the clothing part of the official Dreadlabs website. The next thing that I'm gonna try to explain a little bit is that you have different kinds of themes. So WordPress themes are basically the layouts of your website, and every theme comes with different settings, different layouts. There are a couple of ones that are paid, some of them are free. As you can see here, the one that's called Storefront is free, and this one called Wild Sports $80 a year. Just for the sake of making this as accessible as possible, I'm just gonna go click on the Storefront and click on the live demo. So this is what the normal website would look like. For the sake of making this as accessible as possible, I'm just gonna go with the Storefront theme. So I'm gonna click choose. Okay, now you will get back to WordPress. All right, so here is a checklist that we need to fill in. Add products, set up payments, set up tax, set up shipping, and personalize my store. This is probably the one that can take the most time. So the first thing that I want to talk about is actually getting the products, right? Because if you've been following this video series for a while now, that means that you know that I am actually in the process of selling a DTG printing on demand t-shirt. I'm also in the works with another printing on demand company, which I might switch over to later in the video series. But yeah, I just want to be as transparent as possible. At this point in time, I'm working with Printful on a t-shirt, but that might change to another company because I would prefer to have personal contact with like my retailers or my manufacturers and stuff like that. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to show you my whole process of how I would just release this t-shirt and this website, okay? So we're going to open a new tab and we're going to go to printful.com. Right, as you can see, I'm already logged in. So the idea is to just make an account here and you'll get into this file. You can just pause this video and then we're going to continue. So there's this whole guide that will explain the whole process of this, but it says that we need to install the Printful plugin. So we're going to go back to WordPress, go to plugins, add new, and we're going to go and click on Printful. We'll install this and activate it. Right, and as you can see on the left here, we now have a Printful tab. Basically, we just need to connect this. I'm just going to do this off screen because it might show my API and I don't want that. But yeah, you can just follow these easy steps in here. All right, and as you can see, I now have a webshop called Dreadlabs and a webshop called My Blog. The My Blog part is actually the Dread Universe website, but we haven't changed anything yet. Before we're actually going to do that, I think we're going to do that in the next episode. Before that, I just want to go over what the basics of WordPress are, so you have a little bit of an idea on how to browse this backend. Alright, so if you don't know, WordPress is a blog-based platform. Like originally it was supposed to be just only for blogs, and the way that I look at it is that the WooCommerce plugin kind of changed. Instead of like blog posts, it makes products. So I'm not really sure if it actually works that way, but it kind of sees your products as blog posts. So yeah, I'm just going to go over a couple of these so you know what we're looking for. So the media tab is basically where you can upload all of your images and videos. Think about product shots, stuff like that. Very basic. You can just click on add new and drop your files. As you can see, there's a whole lot of pages already made, and that's just because we installed the WooCommerce plugin. And that's why I wanted to go over these tabs after we installed the WooCommerce plugin, because now we can just all go over the WooCommerce settings as well. Yeah, you basically got the main pages like the cart page, the checkout page, the my account page, the privacy policy page, the refunds and returns policy page, the sample page, and the shop page. And there's a comment section, and this is what I meant when we're talking about the blog posts. Obviously, when you have a blog, there's also like comments. So this is also like a standard thing. I don't really like bother with the comments and stuff, and I just usually go to my settings and turn them off because I don't want people commenting on a product. You know, that doesn't sound like very efficient for a web shop in my opinion. All right, then we have the WooCommerce tab, and which is basically the big one. So if you click on home, you'll get to this one main screen where like you have an overview of everything. This is basically where the to-do list was, where I needed to put in like all of my stuff. Then you also have a tab where it says orders. Yeah, and because we don't have anything in our webshop yet, nothing will appear here. But basically you can have a full-on list from every order that every one of your clients basically just did. You can also check customers here, see how many times they've ordered. So that's very useful as well. See if you have a lot of returning customers or just only new customers. There's also coupons where you can just go and get discount coupons and stuff like that. I'll go over that once we actually need to do one, because at this point here we don't even have any products. Basically then you have reports, settings, status, and extensions. This is all pretty straightforward, but I'll go over them once we actually need to work with them. In the meantime, I highly encourage you to just click on all of these pages and just, you know, start playing around with stuff. See if you have any settings that you already need to edit, and make yourself a home with the WooCommerce backend plugin. Then if you go to products, that's a separate tab where you can actually add products. Basically, you can just import them. That's what we're going to do with Printful. And then there's an analytics tab. We don't really need to go over that because we haven't made any sales yet or something. But basically, here you can find everything, and you can search by order, you can search by product, so you can see which product sells the best. Basically, everything with the analytics part will be on this tab. Then there's the marketing part. This is also where we are going to install our WooCommerce plugin with Facebook so that we can use stuff like Instagram shopping, which I'll go into later. So the big one at this time is the appearance. Basically, you can select themes here, what we did earlier in the video. But the customized one is if you click on that, you'll get to this edit part and you can just edit most of the stuff in your website. Something that we can do as well in the appearance panel is widgets. Here will things appear like a product filter, stuff like that. Menus is basically where you can just make your own custom menus. For example, if you go to our Dreadlabs webshop, this is the stuff that you will make in the menu. Like we have a shop and it goes to graphic design, music production, or freebies with the drop down stuff and everything. That's basically how all of that works. Then these other ones, I don't really bother playing around with them too much. And we've already talked about the plugin panel. Then with users, this is something that's mainly like if you have like a platform, like a forum or something. This is just my personal account with my own password so I can log into the backend here. You can also make accounts for people who work for you in your web store and they can log in, but you can give them different permissions. So for example, you have someone that works with you on the webshop, but you don't want them to edit the whole website or something. You could just do that as well. And then with the tools, I don't really click on these too much. And then there's also the settings. So yeah, basically I would just go over every one of these pages, see if there's something that you need to edit, and that's it. Alright guys, I know it's a little bit of a hectic episode because showing the back end of WordPress is probably not as exciting as me designing stuff. I'm aware of that, but I think it's something that you need to go through yourself. What I think is also very important is it might come in handy if you see me doing it once, so you're not going in this completely blind. So if you've seen the Shopify versus WooCommerce video, it might take a while getting used to WooCommerce, but in my opinion, it's just, once you get the hang of it, it's just worth it, you know? I'm pretty stingy, so I like that I don't have to spend too much money on this, and it just takes me a little bit more to learn. With that being said, I want to just make a quick side note. I am also not a developer. I did a little bit of coding when I was in university, but when it comes to WordPress and developing, it's just like a subject that I've not really like fully dived into. And as Dreadlabs grew, I found out that it just takes me a lot longer when it comes to like keeping track of the website or editing certain stuff and finding out how to do some certain things. So that's why I hire freelance WordPress developers to talk with me about this stuff, and I just pay them to fix stuff on my website. So yeah, if you have something specific and you cannot find it out and it will take you too long, I would just advise you to just see if you know someone, or in your personal network you can find a WordPress developer, or go to LinkedIn and search for them. See if they can help you, because that really like saves a lot of time. And otherwise that would be time that you've put in your actually designing your clothing, or you know, getting everything ready in terms of shipping, something like that, you know. So sometimes you just have to invest something so that you have more time to focus on something yourself, you know. Yeah, you might have to pay a WordPress developer to do something for like 4 hours, which would have taken you like a full week to learn, maybe even more. I would definitely say, okay, see if you can learn the basics from WooCommerce. And then if there's something like complicated, see if you can just talk to someone else. All right, guys. So yeah, a little bit of a boring episode, I guess. But yeah, this is also stuff that needs to be done when you're starting a streetwear brand. In the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how to import products and probably see if we can do some designing on the website as well. So yeah, like I said earlier in the video, if you want to see the full episodes, you can go to our Patreon, which is in the description. So yeah, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you so much. Because of you guys, I'm actually able to do this full time and make more content for you guys, so more Dreadlabs. So yeah, please consider becoming a Patreon because you would really help me out. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments, or you can join us on Discord. And all of that being said, this is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out, and I want to thank you for watching. And see you in the next video.